got a question for you while you're on. You got a minute?
Yeah.
Kind of a hypothetical question, and a lot of things that I've been thinking about for a while and wondering why there's so much blockage on anybody digging up a giant. Do you think that they're related to aliens? Or high-tech?
Well, that's a good question. Anything's possible, I mean, we don't know where they come from, I guess, That's why I would like to get in and verify them and know that they really are real.
Right.
And I guess from that we could do some DNA testing and stuff like that and see where it leads.
Well, those crystal balls in that cave that Johnny Brewer found?
Yeah, I didn't know he had crystal balls.
You didn't, did you?
Nope, I didn't know about the crystal balls.
There's a bunch of crystal balls in there that are highly polished. They're beautiful. Okay?
Okay.
And there's little metal cups. They look like cups, but they're not hollow. Okay?
Okay.
They got a little depression in the top where you could sit a crystal ball on it.
Huh.
If that's what you do with it, I don't know.
Right.
And so I thought about that for a long time. I mean, I've known about that for 35 years.
Yeah.
I was talking to a nuclear physicist who's a scientist that's probably got more patents that NASA uses than any guy alive. And he had a little pen in his pocket. It looked like a pen. And I said, what's that? He says, that's my a light I invented. And he pulled it out, and the little end of it had a little crystal about the size of an eraser for a pencil.
Uh-huh.
He turned it on, and it was so bright, it about blinds you.
Really?
And he says, this will go for 250,000 hours. Then I recharge it by touching this little element on there. And I said, what the heck? He says, when you polish beryllium crystal, and he says you put plutonium next to it, it activates it, and it'll make the ball glow.
Really? So you think that's some kind of a light then, huh?
Mm-hmm. And he says, depends if, he said some plutonium will last for 9 years, and some will last for so many years, some will last for 250,000 years. And so I went back where Johnny's cave was, and I set my frequencies for beryllium, and guess what it went on? Beryllium.
Really?
Then I set it for plutonium, and guess what? It's there too.
Wow.
So it's just pretty strange. Don't know what to think about it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a mystery. You obviously know a lot more about it than I do. Yeah. I'm just curious of who they were. They're so tall, and that they had metal works. And now I guess other types of works. You're telling me. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but they had other stuff inside that cave that's very unusual. For one, there's a drawing on the wall with some kind of spacecraft.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Let me ask you this: was it drawn in? Was there any blue pigments used on the drawings?
I'm not sure. There could kind of I would say more of a grayish color, but it could have a little blue pigment in it.
So it was gray. There wasn't any colored blue.
When you go in that cave, Johnny's cave, which is pretty well covered now with a landslide, it looks like a natural tunnel. When you get in very far, it's not. And the walls are polished like glass.
Huh.
Not anything that anybody would ever expect. But what I'm thinking now is, with what Stephen found and what I found, I have gone from one end of Santee County to the other, and I have found, like Stephen, I have found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of burials. But they're usually at the base of a mountain, but the slough-off over eons of time has buried it.
Huh.
And that's the problem with it. They're deep. So, I know what we got. I got no question on it anymore. And the fact that Stephen has dug up 3 of the woolly mammoths.
Yeah.
And they were there, and the professor dug up the Tamus Rex that he found. Stephen's going down tomorrow to find some more dinosaurs for some people.
Huh.
And they'll dig them, and they'll be there. So I've got no question, Terry, on the technology. But one thing I absolutely know, and I've proven it many times over, and that's this. Gold has a frequency here in Southeast County. If you go to another area, the atomic spacing varies a little bit, and it's not the same frequency.
Okay, I agree with that, yeah.
Oh, God, I went to Wyoming last week and shot a sight for some guys, and I pulled out a piece of gold and checked it. It would not resonate at the same frequency, so I tweaked it to lock onto the gold that I had. And that worked, and it was two divisions off.
Wow.
And that gold was ever resonated and not working. They only have one setting, and they don't know that.
Huh.
So,
yeah, I can believe that. Well,
you know enough about physics, don't you?
No, I don't, but I've heard you talking about it, and man, you talk right over my head. But you know, I do know that gold, you know, in different areas is different, you know, made up different compositions. You know, it's not all the same.
Well, it's a different composition, but it goes beyond that, because the gold I had here resonated at a certain frequency, but the same gold in another area resonates at a different frequency, because the cosmic energies and anomalies change the atomic spacing a little bit.
Mm.
And so all of the gold in that area will resonate at the same frequency, even gold you brought to the area. That's what's going on.
Wow.
And if you get a good solar flare, it'll even change where you live. Not very often.
Really?
I stood there and I tried iron, and I had its frequency, and I wouldn't lock onto it. So I started tweaking it, and I locked onto it, and I said, it changed 4 divisions.
Wow.
So I got a sample kit now. Every place I go, I check the frequency of what it will resonate in that area at that time of day.
Huh.
So that's the secret, my friend. That's the big secret.
Well, I'm definitely interested. I want to get to the bottom of this, and I would like to get the archaeologists in there to prove to the world that, this stuff is real. And just need one. Just need one.
We've got to prove it, because I've seen it, but you know what? As far as most people are concerned, they think I'm a screwball.
Huh.
And so I've got to exonerate myself and show it.
Yep. Yep.
And not that I should really care, but the thing is, they do exist. More people than me needs to know it.
Well, I believe it's true. I believe they exist. But I'd like to validate that, with the archaeology.
Sure. Get a good video. Look at them.
Definitely get a good video. That's what I've been working on too lately. Is I got me a good video camera.
To help me, John Baxter, twice, and he's not interested.
I don't think he really believes in them. But if we find one, then he can't. Plus, he's super busy. But if we find one, there's no denying it. I mean, if they can see them themselves, measure them themselves, they can't deny it.
Yeah, maybe he is just super busy.
Oh, he
doesn't believe in it enough to divert any time.
Yeah, he definitely is super busy. He is swamped. In fact, he's hired him a couple more archaeologists to work with him. But anyways.
Wow. You know what's frustrating to me is this technology is so good, but there's so much out there that nobody's going to believe it.
Yep.
Until you bring one out. I asked one guy to come and do a site with me and to prove it to him, and he says, I'd do that. But I said, will you do a write-up on my machinery? And he said, no. And I said, why? And he said, I don't want anybody to use it but me. I said, well, you said it. I couldn't believe he said that. So I'm not going to deal with him.
Yeah.
He's not going to do me any favors. I'm not going to do him any favors. He just cut himself out of the favor.
Yep.
I've got 4 people that's done write-ups on my technology, but I want more.
Yeah.
If you want to look at my website.
What's your website?
Terra Firma Assayers. Terra.
Hold on. I've lost my pen. Hold on.
Terra Firma Assayers. Terra Firma Assayers. So Terra Firma Assayers, and if it doesn't come up, type in www.terrafirmaassayers.com.
Okay.
And I've got some of Johnny Brewer's plates on there, and and I got my warranty and my guarantee. And my guarantee is if I say this goes someplace and they're not, they get all the money back.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
Okay.
So, but yeah, just look at it, and if you want to, send it to your friends, whatever. But
I will.
I got my warranty there, and some stories and stuff in there. So anyway, well, good. If you can get that guy, I'll just keep doing what I do, and then maybe we can dig one. I want to dig one and get Wayne Mason pictures too.
So do I, and I could probably get some equipment in there to dig it. So if it's so, okay. I'll keep trying, and I'll let you know.
All right, Terry.
Okay, thanks, Robert.
You do well.
Okay, you too. Bye.